From cursed vampires to demonic possession, these horror novels didn't just terrify readers, they sold millions. Today on Simplified Reads, we explore the best-selling horror books of all time and what makes them unforgettable. The history of horror's greatest hits starts with two classics that shaped the entire genre. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley introduced the idea of the man-made monster and asked timeless questions about humanity. Then came Dracula by Bram Stoker, the blueprint for nearly every vampire tale that followed. Though written over a century ago, both books remain in print and are still used in classrooms today. They're considered essential reading not just for horror fans, but for anyone curious about where the genre began. Their continued popularity, adaptations, and influence across books and movies have made them not just classics, but bestsellers over generations. And Rice's interview with the vampire helped redefine vampire fiction with lush prose and tortured immortals. Selling over 150 million copies, it launched The Vampire Chronicles and turned Rice into a household name. Around the same time, Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin shook readers with its slow-building dread and exploration of satanic horror in suburban life. It sold millions and inspired an Oscar-winning film. Both books mark a turning point where horror moved from remote castles and ghosts to more personal, psychological fears rooted in society, identity, and trust. Few books changed the horror landscape like The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. Based on real events, it sold over 13 million copies and terrified a generation with its tale of demonic possession. Close behind is The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris, a blend of horror and crime that introduced the unforgettable Hannibal Lecter. Both novels became iconic films and dominate best horror books lists. They showed that horror could be literary, thrilling, and deeply disturbing, without needing ghosts or ghouls. These books didn't just sell, they changed how people saw the genre. No horror bestseller list is complete without Stephen King. From Carrie to The Shining, Misery, It, and The Stand, King's books have sold hundreds of millions. Each offers something different: haunted hotels, telekinetic teens, killer clowns, or pandemic apocalypses. Carrie alone sold over 4 million copies. The Shining helped define psychological horror. His novels consistently land on bestseller charts and movie screens. What makes King so successful isn't just the scares, it's the emotional core, flawed characters, and unforgettable atmosphere he builds in every story. King isn't just a horror writer, he's a phenomenon. Beyond King, other horror megasellers have left their mark. Peter Benchley's Jaws, about a killer shark terrorizing a beach town, sold over 20 million copies and birthed the summer blockbuster. Koji Suzuki's Ring series, the basis for the terrifying films, sold nearly 3 million copies and brought Japanese horror to the global stage. Then there's World War Z by Max Brooks, a modern horror classic told through survivor interviews of a zombie apocalypse. It sold over 1 million copies and proved that horror can be political, global, and smart. Let's not forget the younger readers. R.L. Stine's Goosebumps series has sold over 400 million copies worldwide, while his Darker Fear Street series sold over 80 million. These books introduced entire generations to horror, with titles like Welcome to Dead House and The Babysitter. Though written for kids and teens, their eerie plots, cliffhanger chapters, and creepy covers helped create lifelong horror fans. They weren't just books, they were playground legends, traded like collectibles and devoured under the covers with a flashlight. So whether it's classic monsters, demonic possessions, killer sharks, or haunted typewriters, these best-selling horror novels earned their place not just through scares, but through unforgettable storytelling. They sold millions because they tapped into our deepest fears and darkest curiosities. If you're looking for horror with legacy, impact, and staying power, this list is where to start. Hit subscribe for more book breakdowns that go straight to the point. This is Simplified Reads, where stories live forever, and so do your nightmares.